And so what this allows you to do is actually develop custom generative AI models directly within Fabric. And so previously you had to use Copilot, which is kind of out of the box generative AI model, whereas now you can customize that within AI skills.
Welcome back to a very special and jam-packed edition of Fabric Threads, where I'm joined today by my favorite co-host, Dennis.
Yes, I'm super excited for this episode.
We have 2 full months of updates to go through today for August and September. Not to mention, we are fresh off of FabCon Europe, where there's some really fantastic updates that we're going to cover today at the end, and what that really can mean for your business.
Yeah, like you said, we have so much content. Let's just jump in.
So the first feature I'd love for you to speak to us about today, Dennis, is the ability to use Copilot to ask questions against your semantic model, which is currently available in preview. Can you tell us what using Copilot in this context means?
Yeah, so Copilot has actually been a feature within Fabric and Power BI for some time now. And what this feature actually allows you to do is use Copilot and ask questions about your data directly within Power BI desktop. And so this is a big update. Usually you just have to use the Power BI service and you can ask questions about your report or your semantic model from there. Or maybe you want to use Copilot for your warehouses or your lakehouses within Fabric. This actually allows you to use Power BI desktop on your computer and ask questions about your data.
And with the whole promise with Copilot is you're able to ask questions in kind of a natural language way. Is that right?
Exactly. That's what it's meant to be. If you're familiar with ChatGPT, think about that, but for your semantic model. So it's really those business analysts, your super users that aren't familiar with DAX or semantic modeling in general, but still want to extract insights from that semantic model.
That's awesome. And what sort of answers does Copilot return?
So usually it will actually return those answers as data visualizations within Power BI. So it's not going to respond in free text. It's actually going to produce a visualization that answers your question.
That sounds super useful. Any other enhancements you'd like to tell us about?
I just think that's going to be a very widely used feature, especially for your business users and your analysts throughout your organization.
Since this feature is in preview, is there any limitations that folks should know about?
I would say with any Copilot feature, expecting the Copilot to actually answer complex questions about your semantic model, it does take some training to get to that point. And so if you have a complex data model and you're really expecting it to be able to analyze what you're asking, it will take some training to get to that point. And the other thing is for any preview feature, Microsoft is always rolling out updates. So the feature now may not look like the same feature next month.
Well, I'm sure we'll keep all of our viewers up to date on those changes.
Yeah, I've been using it every single day and it is super fun to use.
AI Skills is now available in public preview. Dennis, tell us what this is all about.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this feature. I think it's the best feature of this month. And so what this allows you to do is actually develop custom generative AI models directly within Fabric. And so previously you had to use Copilot, which is kind of out of the box generative AI model, whereas now you can customize that within AI skills.
And what can we expect from this sort of advancement?
With this advancement, you'll actually be able to tailor different generative AI models depending on what you want it to answer. So you can fully customize with examples a full generative AI model directly within Fabric.
Can you provide me an example?
Yeah, so think if your data is inside of a lakehouse or a warehouse and you want to be able to run a query to answer those questions, that is really what AI Skills is doing. And so what you can do is tailor it with specific subsets of data. So think maybe I want to analyze sales or marketing or operations or all of those 3 business units together. What you're going to do is gather up that data, load it into the AI skill, and then put different prompts. Like maybe I want to see what are my top customers that are shipping out in the next month? And so that's what AI Skills is actually able to answer. And you have to provide it that set of data within your lakehouse or your warehouse.
That does sound super useful. Who do you think will really benefit from this new feature?
So this is a little bit more technical of a feature. So really your data scientists, your AI developers will get the most use of this feature.
I know with AI, there always seems to be a discussion around security. How can companies ensure that their questions in the AI skills is going to be secure?
So that's a great question. And what AI skills does is it actually inherits the user credentials that that specific developer has. And so if they only have access to certain subsets of data, that is all the data that they can use when developing the AI skill.
Okay, so both user level security as well as company level security that's baked in.
Absolutely. And that's generally how Fabric and most Fabric components work.
Given that this is in preview, how about any other limitations that we just should know about?
So, expecting this AI skill to be able to answer your questions right off the bat, this takes a little bit more training than even Copilot does. And so, remember, you're developing a custom generative AI model on top of your data. So, you will have to give it specific prompts and tell it how to answer those types of questions.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and one thing I'll also mention is that this is a preview feature. So, like I mentioned before, just how the feature is today is not how it necessarily will be next month or even 2 months out.
I'd love for us to take a deep dive on one of the additional features announced just this month, which is the ability to share within AI skills. Can you tell us what this feature is about and why it's so meaningful for users?
Yeah, you can tell Microsoft and the Fabric team are really investing heavily in the AI skills feature. And so, what the share feature allows you to do is actually share your newly built AI skills to your end users, your business users, and even other developers that enhances the collaboration.
So, what problems are these solving outside of the ability to speed up collaboration?
This is also solving the security aspect of developing AI skills. So previously, really the only people that had access were admins or advanced users within that workspace of wherever the AI skill was developed. And now what this allows you to do is share that with the end users, which does open up to the point of creating and configuring that security up front. So whoever gets shared this AI skill has access to that underlying data.
Very cool. Who do we think really benefits from this new skill?
I really think the end users and business users will benefit the most from this feature because now your AI developers, your data scientists can share their newly developed AI skill with those end users so they can use that throughout their week to week operations.
So, co creation with controlled access is kind of the key ingredients to this shared feature within AI skills.
This feature and pretty much every other feature within Fabric, it's so important that you configure your security up front so there's no unnecessary or mitigated access against that.
That makes sense. So, talk to me about any other misconceptions about this update that people should be looking out for.
I think there's not really many misconceptions necessarily. Now, this is a custom generative AI model, so it will take a lot of training up front. But the biggest thing is that this is still in public preview. So you really need to be careful with the features that you're using because they may change later down the road until it becomes generally available.
So, we're fresh off of FabCon Europe. It was a fantastic event, and we're always excited to have so much energy and excitement around our favorite product and solution, Fabric. There were some great announcements and recaps to some features we talked about when they were in preview. I'd love for us to hone in on three big announcements in terms of what's new. So, the first one is going to be enhanced real time integration. The second one is advancements in expanded capabilities within AI and Copilot. And lastly, let's talk about Git integration in terms of data ops enhancements.
Yeah, these three features at FabCon Europe were really focused on. These were big features that everybody talked about. And so let's jump into the enhanced real time data integration. So, this is a great feature for organizations that need actual real time data and to be able to visualize that data to make enhanced business decisions. And so, what this allows you to do is actually connect to your source systems, whether it's your ERP system, manufacturing system, financial system, retail operations system, and bring all of that data together in real time into Fabric. And so, that is huge for making informed decisions in a split second.
So, Dennis, I think one of the big investments we've seen from Microsoft is continuous investments in AI as well as Copilot. Can you talk about what's the latest in this arena?
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, this is a huge feature. Everybody's talking about AI and Copilot and how they can integrate these tools directly inside of their Fabric and Power BI environment. And as we've mentioned previously, you can use Copilot, ask complex questions about your data on top of your lakehouses, your warehouses, your semantic models, your reports. So they are really integrating Copilot in every single Fabric component. This allows you to develop custom generative AI models directly on top of your Fabric lakehouses and warehouses. So, on top of Copilot, other AI features, and AI skills all within Fabric, it's really becoming your go to AI hub.
I love the continued innovation in this arena. How about talk to us, Dennis, about GitHub integration for data ops?
Yeah, and admittedly, this is a little bit more technical of a feature. Not every Fabric developer will take advantage of this, but those organizations that are truly taking to Fabric as their go to data storage, ETL, analysis, and business intelligence tool, this is a huge feature because it's going to enhance collaboration and you'll be able to roll out changes to your Fabric models and your components that much faster. You can tell that Microsoft and the rest of the Fabric team are really investing heavily into features that enhance your business capability. So they want to make everybody throughout your organization more efficient. So whether it be real-time intelligence, GitHub, Copilot, whatever those features are, they are investing heavily into enhancing collaboration and making your employees more efficient.
Wow, that was a really hefty update. Thank you so much, Dennis, for walking us through the latest from both August and September, as well as what's new out of FabCon Europe.
Yeah, there are so many awesome Fabric features being released, and we hope to see even more at the next FabCon event in March, where Collectiv will actually be hosting a booth there, and we invite everybody to stop by and ask your questions.
Yes, we love that. But in the meantime, if you have any feedback or more features you'd like to hear anything about, leave a comment below. We appreciate you watching.